Hey guys, welcome back to the channel again. So today we're going to recording for the day 2 of our challenges. The second day is quite frustrating and quite annoying because we actually took a loss, and the saddest part is that the loss that we took was actually by breaking the rules, okay? And what I mean by that is because we haven't spoke about throughout this challenge and throughout this project, we were actually going to trade within only the first hour of the sessions. But for the recent trading sessions, most of the move has happened throughout the Asia, right? So if you look at the price action like today and yesterday, right? If you look at the market open and in Asia, the market would just move like 300 points, and like today as well, 300 point, and yesterday, right? And then when it comes to London, there isn't actually a lot of liquidity to move the market to try and hit your to objective to get to the key levels. So this was the price action for London yesterday. If you look at the hourly candle, this area, as you can see, it is extremely choppy and crap to trade. So what I have done was throughout the London, I did took a couple of trades, but I was at a break-even level, and then I decided to took one outside the hour window that I wanted to take trades, just purely because I feel like the opportunity was coming after. Because if I see a market was consolidating a lot of liquidity into this zone, and once it's consolidated, it's going to jump out of the zone and it's going to give you an opportunity to trade. So that's why I actually broke my rules and took a trade outside of it, outside of the first hour of the session rules, in which I ended up actually taking a loss for that trade, which is very, very annoying. And second day of the challenge, I already broke my rules. So yeah, well, it is what it is. I did review everything, and I did actually come up with a solution in regarding to what I can do in the future to prevent this to happen. And I think the main reason why I did what I did was because obviously I see the opportunity outside the session. For this account, the project that I want to be running was actually just trading within the first hour of the session. And if there was an opportunity, I still wanted to take the trade, but I shouldn't be taking on this account. I should be taking on a different account, right? So. And because of that, because I don't have a different account to trade, that's why I went back and actually still traded within the same account. So what I'm going to do to avoid this is I actually started a different evaluation from Top Step. So if any trades set up occur, and I think it is a good setup for me to take outside of the window of the first hour of the learning session, I will be using the Top Step account instead of this account. So this account will still predominantly focusing on only trading within the hour, within the first hour of the learning session. Okay, so going forward, and this sort of a situation wouldn't happen again, because if I didn't took this trade, I would still be at a level at break even. This day, technically within the first hour of the session was a break even for me, and then I would have still up 1,000 for the week, but it is what it is, right? At the moment it's break even for the week. So yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, we do this challenge just to learn from our mistake and just to improve 1% every single day. And the good thing is I know exactly what I did wrong, and I actually have a solution to sort of fix it. So which is good. But yeah, that's the outcome. So let's just talk about the trade performance. Okay, the challenging part for the trades yesterday it's pretty much like the price action today. So yesterday, if you look at the market open, which is a Monday, right? And then when you come into the 2:30, which is the time that I generally start to trade, the market has a clean sort of a clean trend. And then the issue was market has already moved 400 point, right? So during these summer seasons, there isn't actually a lot of volatility and liquidity. So 400 point is actually quite a lot of move, and it happened in Asia. So which this is not very common, right? Most of the time, the bigger move will only happen throughout the New York and London session. So that's why remainder day of the London New York was extremely difficult to trade, because most of the volatility and the movement actually already occurred throughout the Asia session, right? So when I come to the market, when I see a trend like this, the first position that I took was at 2:30. I actually took a small short here, right? I did took a small short, because generally my A+ setup, when I see a clear trend like this, was that I will actually just trade it with the trend, as I explained to you guys. So my A+ setup should be at this level here, because this is a 5 minutes order block and I wanted to trade with the trend. But when I see the price was hovering here after 230. When it come close to the 3 o'clock level, let me just go back. Right at this level, I had a very strong feeling price is going to reverse. So what will happen most of the time is, because I've been trading the first hour of the open so frequently, so I kind of know exactly what times these price tend to reverse. So at this level, 3 o'clock, I did took a short somewhere around here, and that was actually a win for me. I did actually close my trade early, so I ended up profiting $600 from this trade. And then after that, I took another long. I should have waited for this area, but I was very impulsive. I don't know what I was thinking, but I took another long position, and I took a loss for that. And then after that, I did enter a long position at this level. This level here was the level that I actually took a long, and this was a good trade. And the only issue was that trade was somehow, I believe, because it created a 5 minutes fair value gap here, I believe the price is just going to hold it there and it's just going to do a reversal. So I actually closed that trade with only $600 profit, okay? And after I closed that trade with $600 profit, because it still was in the session, was in the same window, I took another short at this level here for the price just to come back and feel the inefficiencies below. But obviously the price didn't do that, it just kept trading up, which was okay. So that was like fourth trade for the day, okay? So at that point I was break even. So it was outside my first hour of the London session. So I took 4 trades, it was all break even. And then when I see the market come out, and I said to myself, if market come out, takes out the previous day high, it's going to reverse, okay? And which it did. So, and these were like a long setup. So it reversed, but at this point I was trading a micro contract. So I was trading a very small contract. And then I should have closed that trade here. I don't know, I was multitasking with something else because this is outside of my window. I didn't close this particular trade because this would have been a $700 profit trade. And then from this point onwards, because this was the VWAP band, right? The middle band was the extremely crucial area for the price to reverse. And like I said, at that time I was distracted because it was in the New York morning. It's not a time that I normally sit down and trade quite a lot. And then I just didn't close this trade, and somehow the market 360 reversed it, which took me out, and yeah, ended up basically from the break even ended up losing 1,000, which was pretty sad. But that was a price action. To be fair, London and New York has been really difficult to trade for the past weeks, because as you can see, the price actions are very choppy throughout the session. Most of the majority of the move has been happening throughout the Asia, and then London has just been a very consolidative range. For me, which is still okay because I'm a very small tight area scalper, so which still gives me a lot of opportunity, but ideally I still prefer the price moves quite heavily and quite strongly and quite rapidly, so that still creates a better trading condition than trading in this area. So anyway, that was for the day, $1,000 loss. So for the week we still at a break even level, but yeah, that's we can only focus, like I said at the end, whatever the mistake we make, we either going to have to come up with a solution to fix it, or we're going to just stop doing it. So these are the only two, there has to be only 2 answers for that, right? So for this, I knew exactly what I did wrong, and then I already come up with a solution, which if I have to trade a setup that's outside a session, I have to trade with a different account, not anymore on the same account anymore. So yeah, that's the answer for the mistake that I made yesterday. But that's the result. So hopefully 2022 at the moment for today's price action, I will make another video today to talk about the outcome for today. So yeah, stay tuned guys. Thanks.